Cascade kids, I'm so glad you're here because this is the space where we get to learn about God. And all month long, we have been learning about creativity, imagining what you could do because you're made in the image of God. Creativity is something that God has given to us, and it's something that we can use to change the world around us. That's what a life app is. A life app is something that God does in us to change the world around us. This week's lesson comes to us from the book of Matthew. Remember the kind of book I told you that was? The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 13 through 16. And if you're following along with your Bible, boys and girls, you can follow along with me now. Turn to Matthew 5:13, and we're going to read what Jesus says. He's teaching people right now, and this is what he says. You are the salt of the earth, but suppose the salt loses its saltiness. How can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything. Okay, so salt makes things taste better. Jesus was saying that we can show others how good God is with our actions. The way we live can impact others' lives. And we can be salty when we treat others the way we want to be treated, with love and with kindness and with care. But if we're not careful, we can lose our saltiness. So let's follow along in verse 14 and see what else he says. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Also, people don't light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand. Then it gives light to everyone in the house. You are the light of the world. Okay, that doesn't mean that followers of Jesus are better than anyone else. And you've got to understand the light that Jesus is talking about doesn't come from within ourselves. It doesn't come because of the things that we do or because of who we are. No, the light that Jesus is talking about comes because of whose we are. It's the light of Christ's love and grace and the light of God's presence in us that Jesus is talking about. And Jesus is talking about that hill, okay? You know that big movie theater up on the Highlands, and when you drive by I-90 you can see it? Well, that's what he's talking about. A city that's built on a hill, everyone can see it when they go by because it's right there. And he's saying that's the same way with our light. Just don't cover it up, right? You don't light a light and then put it under the bed and hide it. No, you use it to light the room. So just like we can lose our saltiness, we can do things and say things and think things that can cover up that light of Christ that's in us. When we shine the light of Christ's love into the dark places and dark situations in this world, we are showing people who God is. And one way that we can be salty and shine our light is by sharing our God stories, by letting others know how much better our lives are because of God. And students, today's Confirmation Sunday is one of my favorite Sundays of the whole year because your stories encourage all of us in our faith. They point others to Jesus. Our bottom line this week is God created you to share his story. Students, you are salty and you are shining the light of God's presence in your life. Thank you for sharing your stories. Boys and girls and everyone, this week, let's be salty in a good way and let's shine the light of Christ to those around us.